Hello and welcome to this video. My name's David Thorne, and in this video we're going to be talking about Firebase authentication using email and password authentication. Okay, I just decided to wear my Borussia Dortmund football jersey just because I'm a massive Dortmund fan. Anyway, so I'm guessing, right, that you've got some knowledge about Firebase already, and you've set up your Firebase account, you've added an iOS app, and you've got a Google service info.plist already, and so on. And yeah, so let's pop over to my Firebase console very quickly. And as you can see here, under authentication, the email password status is enabled just by tapping the edit sign and you enable it. By default it's off, and then we're just going to enable it here and press save. This email link password list sign in we're not going to do right now, and we're just going to concentrate on doing the email and password way. All right, so just press save. I've also down here got the anonymous enabled. We're not going to be handling that today, so let's just leave that for now. You'll also need a database in the future, so just whilst we're here you can see that I've got a database here as well, and also we can see there's no users at the moment. All right, but we're going to change that. So let's come back to Xcode. I've created an Xcode project, like I said, and I've added the Google service-info.plist file. I don't want to click on it because I don't want to show it to you. And I've also got a file with credentials in it, which has got email and password in it, which is not really that secret. It's just there because it's out the way. I've created a standard single view app, and I've done pod init, and then I've added pod Firebase core and pod Firebase /auth, and just for the sake of it, pod Firebase /database, and I've done pod install. So now the project is ready to go. It just speeds it up a little bit and the project will run now. So let's get started. All right, now there's a couple of steps that we're going to have to do, right? Is if you're creating authentication, you're going to need to be able to register the user, sign in the user, and see if the user is already signed in, and to know which one you're going to do. There is another step, but we're going to go over that in a further video, which is working out what type of providers for email address that user has, but we won't do it in this video, we'll do it in another one. All right, so we're in Xcode, so let's set up a method in our view controller. I'm not going to get into where this code is supposed to be. It's just an example of Firebase right now. Okay, so first things first is we're going to say sign in, right? And this is going to take the auth object, right, that we can use to do it. What we're also going to do is we're going to say register, right? And in this register, we're going to take another auth as well. And then another one, we're going to say handle error. Right, if there is an error, we're going to say handle error. I may have done this a couple of times already now for this video, because I kind of messed it up last time with the recording and the screens and all sorts of rubbish. So that's why you see down the bottom I was output it already. Okay, but this time it means that I've managed to do it so it's a bit cleaner. All right, so this handle error is going to handle the errors. Sign in is going to handle the signing in, and register is going to handle registering. All right, and I've already imported Firebase auth. Now there's something that you've got to do that I'm not doing right now, just to show you that it's going to cause a problem. And because I know this is going to happen, we're going to have to say sign out and run the code. So I'm signed out because I'm actually already signed in. But this is not something you need to do beforehand, but if you know that the user's already signed in, then you just need to force sign out. And this is the error. Looks like we're going to skip straight to this point here. All right, you need to configure it before it's working. Yeah, the user's already signed in, so it's kind of going to negate the stuff that I actually want to do with you. All right, so let's get rid of this. Okay, so now that we know that the project's all set up, we need to check first of all, is the user signed in already actively. And the way we can do this is by a simple guard statement, and we're saying user, or so guard let user equals auth, and then current user. Now, if this is nil, then you know that the user's not signed in, right? So let's just say return self.signin and then say auth.auth and so on, right? If the user is signed in, then we're going to print user email and we're all happy, okay? So now we want to sign the user in, okay? So we can say auth, because we have the object now, and sign in with email and password. This is the important one for the time being. There's many options, but we're going to use this one for now. And I've already got these in some constants already. So your email and password are strings, and we've also got this completion handler, which is an auth data result, and it's optional. So first thing, we want to have a result and then error. Okay, let's just catch the error to see if it's nil, and then we're going to say return handle error, okay, and we'll deal with that shortly. So if there's no error, then there must be a user from the result, and this way we can access it by saying result.user. And if it's not there, then we're just going to fatal error it out and say no user, do not know what went wrong. And I actually don't know right now what would have gone wrong if there wasn't a user there. So now we have a user, we can say user.print user.email once again. So now we know we're signed in. Now we need to handle the error, okay? So in this error, it can be that the user is not registered, or user not found, all right? User not found would mean that we need to register the user. So in order to get the error that we want to have, we need to say error auth status, I don't know, whatever, you can name it anything you want. And we want to say auth error codes, raw value, and we're going to say error underscore code, and then we're going to force unwrap this, and once we've done that, then we're going to switch error auth status, and we're going to go through the errors that it possibly could be. Now you can find out where these errors are by going to firebase.com/docs/auth/iOS/errors, or just on the left hand side under the documentation, it's handle errors are here, and we want to go to sign in with email password, and you see here error code operation not allowed, error code invalid email, error code user disabled, and wrong password. So we can handle these errors here. So we've got wrong password, invalid email, op not allowed, and what else do we have? User disabled, and then user not found is also one of them. So let's just print out these. And obviously it's the user not found that we are the ones that we're looking for. So let's here and so on. And if user is not found, then we're going to say register, and we're going to pass the auth on once again, right? And because I know that there's no more errors that it's going to handle, I'm going to say error not supported here, all right? So with wrong password, you'd show an error message, invalid email, and so on to the user about there being an error, okay? And this wants to be that like that. Okay, so now we can run this. So sign in, that handles the error already. And if we run this, we should see user not found. All right, yep, user not found. So it came here and went into our register, which has got nothing at the moment. So now we need to register the user, all right, which is nice and simple. So we can say create user with email, and now I've got the email in the constant, and then the password also in my constant here. And this is pretty much exactly the same code that we had last time, right? So we can then just say result error once again, and then guard equals error, and so on. Follow the same pattern, return self.handle error, and now we want to say user equals result dot user else fatal error do not know why. David, why? Stop it. This would happen. I'm going to type slower actually. And then we can say print email once again. All right. So let's run it again. Got an error where? Let's run it again. Where's the error? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, run it again. And now this time we should get email down here. User not found. Okay, you see user not found, now it's registered. So when we run it again this time, let's write logged in user here. Let's just cut this out. So now we've got a logged in user rather than a registered user. And we run it again, and this won't even go through the registration process anyway, because Firebase has handled keeping that user in the state. Now you can see logged in user, and so on. So what about if we want to force log out the user? Like we said, we can then so we want to sign in, and this is then going to be then signed in user. Okay, so we can differentiate between the different users that are being logged in. One's a already logged in user, one's now signed in user, and so on. All right, and this is then registered user. Like this. All right, so let's run this again, and we should get logged in user as previously. And we see logged in user when we run it. Now, if we force the user to be logged out, and we say here sign out and run this again, we should now get signed in user. Signed in user. Now, if we come over to the Firebase console once again and refresh our users and disable the accounts and run this again, you'll know what we're going to get. You're going to get user disabled. And as you see, user disabled. Right, now if we come back again and we delete the accounts and refresh this once again, you'll see registered user, right? Or user not found. And yeah, now registered user as well. All right. Now, if we comment out our sign out once again, you'll notice that we get a logged in user already. Logged in user. So it's really, really simple to do. Yeah, the rest of it is all about the documentation. All right. So now, just for the sake of, if you want to be able to delete the user, then all you've got to do is say user delete, and then once again handle. So yeah, we'll say guard error equals error, else print user was deleted, right? And this then is handle error. Yeah, and let's run it again. And this time you'll see that the user is deleted. Okay, user was deleted. So let's come here, refresh this, and there's no user there anymore. Right, what was that? 14 minutes. I did it faster and actually better. All right, I hope that you understood all this. I hope it wasn't too quick. The project will be in my GitHub repository. The link will be in the description as well. If there's anything more that I need to add to this, and I will be making another video about doing fetch email providers in order to work out whether the user is already registered with that email address and how many providers they have with it, because you can do Google, Twitter, telephone, etc., different types of logging in. And there are other things like email verification and stuff that needs to be done. So they're not difficult videos, and I'll try and do them as well for you. All right. If you do have any feedback, please write a comment. If you like it, then please like it. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, because I'm making lots of videos at the moment about Swift and so on. If you don't like it, then do the thumbs down as well, right? But please write a comment to tell me why you didn't like it. I don't mind listening to constructive criticism, all right? Anyway, I hope you've learned something. I wish you a nice evening, and thanks very much for watching, all right? Bye-bye then.